This is it. This is the final episode of TNIAB's Anime Club for Jojo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5 Golden Wind Experience. That's what it's called, right?
Golden Experience.
Golden Wind Experience.
No. Gold Experience is the stand name. Golden Wind is the season name.
Golden Wind Experience.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
It's over.
It's over. It's donezo.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the final battle.
Yeah.
Final arc.
When we last left off,
they were in the Coliseum.
Yes.
And Diavolo's all like, yo, homie, I see you, Bruno. But also, you're like dead, I guess? I'm not sure, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, we won't go through each episode by episode because it's kind of a lot of tedious stuff. We'll talk about the main thing. So, we finally figure out what the arrow does and why it's so important.
Yes.
The arrow is something that gives stands.
Yes.
But if you are a stand user, it has the potential to unlock the true power.
Some would say unlock your disc.
Unlock your disc. Unlock your destiny.
Yes.
Right? So it gets used on Polnareff's Silver Chariot. And Silver Chariot turns into Silver Chariot Requiem. Who has the power, gently weeps while my guitar gently weeps, based on the Beatles. And this is where the show starts getting wild again. Because everyone is in this Coliseum. Diavolo is trying to take this arrow from Polnareff, who's just wheelchair bound.
Yep.
And who he actually uses a very clever way of figuring out where Diavolo is that he cuts his finger and watches blood drop on his legs.
Yeah. And
then when there's more blood drops than he remembers, he knows he used the time jump.
Yeah.
So he tries to do a quick attack in a 360 to try and get Diavolo. I thought that was very clever. But Requiem's fucking ability is ridiculous. So he picks up the arrow and his whole ability is to put people to sleep.
Yep.
He puts them to sleep, but when you wake up, your soul is in the body of the closest person to you when you had fell asleep.
Yes.
So we wake up to people being humans inside a dog body, babies inside of an adult body, a cop is a criminal, and vice versa. And this is where it gets kind of hard to keep track of everybody.
Yeah.
Because Trish is Mista. Mista is Trish.
Yep.
Bruno is Diavolo.
Yeah.
And one portion of Diavolo is Bruno in his crippled dead body.
Yes.
Right? So it is confirmed that Diavolo has two souls living within him. So it kind of pseudo explains why he's so bipolar in his attitude, and also why he kind of physically changes when he switches from one person to the other.
Yeah.
Bruno's Diavolo. Giorno is
Narancia.
Is he Narancia?
Yep.
Yeah, Giorno's Narancia and Narancia is Giorno. And so they're all doing kind of wild shit. Polnareff is the turtle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Polnareff. Well, he can walk now.
That's true. He's in a body that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and now from here on, it's all about trying to stop Requiem, get the arrow, and become the ultimate whatever.
Yeah.
So we'll skip ahead a couple episodes. It turns out that Diavolo is inside Mista, who is Trish.
Yes.
Right? Because he has two souls, so he switched with...
Yeah. His souls got split.
His souls got split into the two.
Yeah.
The weak one, or the timid one, went into Bruno, and his body died, so he died. And then the strong Diavolo, the true Diavolo, went inside to Mista's body, which is actually Trish.
Yeah.
Right? And they do a whole thing where it's just like, oh shit, he's been with us the whole time, we didn't even know. He killed Narancia. He fucking put him in a grate, impaled him.
So he kills Narancia, but Narancia in Jojo's body.
Yeah, he killed Narancia in Giorno's body. So the soul comes out of Giorno's body. Giorno heals the body, and because the body is now an empty vessel, his soul can go back into his own body.
Yes.
right?
And then the Narancia body dies.
And the Narancia body is gone. They have to leave it there, and there's a whole thing. They're like, we'll come back to bury you properly, and blah, blah, blah. So they're going, and it turns out, because Diavol's a fucking smart motherfucker, takes Trish hostage by the stand.
Yes.
Right? And then also learns that, oh, hey, anywhere I look at this person, at Requiem, the shadow is always facing the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Like, why is that? Like, obviously it's because there's some sort of light source behind me. And it turns out the trick to Requiem's power, or like what's holding your soul in this section, or why you can't damage it, is because the actual true portion is behind your head. It's like you're being controlled by this little ball.
Yeah.
And so he attacks the ball, which is able to destroy part of Requiem, and King Crimson can get the arrow.
Yeah.
Right? There's a whole bunch of other stuff. He loses the arrow because Mista does some wild shooting shit.
Yeah.
And Bruno like makes a bullet, whatever. He loses the arrow.
Yep.
And this is the start of it, where King Crimson punches his own body.
Yeah.
So that he can fly with the momentum to catch the arrow.
Yes.
That part?
Yeah.
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 And then he still misses.
Yes.
Even after all that, he still misses.
I don't know how, but yes.
And Mista, who's in Trisha's body, thinks he's going to get the arrow, but then it ends up being Giorno, obviously. Yeah. So Giorno in Giorno's body picks up the arrow, stabs himself. His whole thing like kind of molts.
Yeah.
And he gets gold experience Requiem.
Yeah.
Which is immediately shown to be powerful because he can just fucking fly.
Yeah, he just starts levitating.
He just starts levitating.
Yeah.
Right? He shoots... They show his powers are amplified because he shoots a rock so fast that even Diavolo couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Right? And then on the exit wound, it turned debris into scorpions, which then stabbed him.
We should say, though, that just before this happens, when Mista does the crazy bullshit to kill Requiem...
Yeah.
Is it Polanov's Requiem? What's his
name?
Yeah, yeah.
Polnareff's Requiem,
yeah. When he breaks that, everyone's souls return.
Yeah, yeah.
And because they return, it's at this point, just before Giorno stabs himself, that B-Man dies.
B-Man?
Boo.
Oh, Bruno.
Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno dies. And he dies... He turns into Gold Jesus. Gold Italian Jesus.
He does that scene in The Lion King where you see Mufasa in the clouds.
Yeah, but it's gold.
Yeah. And it's like, what the fuck?
Dude, it's so cool.
Yeah,
I need to get that. It's my phone wallpaper.
I don't know.
That's my phone wallpaper, baby.
I don't know.
That's so sick.
I don't know.
So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, he's just dead.
But he dies for realsies. For real.
Yeah, because, he wasn't dead for half the series.
No, he died within the erased time, right? So this is where we get into, I think, the most brutal death in all of JoJo.
Yes.
So when they were fighting and Giorno does his ora and just, like, fucks up Diavolo because he's too fast. Before that, Diavolo sees the future, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, my victory is assured.
Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah.
And he goes to erase time. He's in his little erase time zone or whatever, doing his little whatever.
Yep.
But it turns out that Requiem can activate independently of Giorno.
Yeah.
And and can talk.
Yes.
And he's like, listen, I didn't tell Giorno this, but I'm a fucking baller.
More or less,
right?
yes.
And also this whole time shit ain't gonna work. So here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna trip balls.
Yes.
You're gonna see every instance of yourself in past time.
Yeah.
And you're gonna go back to where you started.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, what the actual fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Because it does this really trippy sequence of like Diavolo looking back at himself and then that version looking back at himself again, right? Because you're looking at the past portions of you.
Yeah.
I thought that was fucking wild when I read it, but being able to see it animated made it make a lot more sense. And then he orders him, and do you get what Requiem's power is?
You mean like Jornos?
Yeah, Jornos.
No.
Like, he's super powerful,
Yeah.
and we get to the portion where Diavolo dies, right?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
gets stabbed by a druggie in a sewer, but
Yeah.
then he wakes up on an operating table.
Yeah.
And he's operating in excruciating pain, and then he dies and then
Yeah.
wakes up in New York.
Yeah.
And he keeps dying over and over
Yeah.
again. So this is fucked up. So Giorno's power, like how Diavolo's power erases the effect and keeps the cause.
Yeah.
Or sorry, erases the cause and keeps the effect.
Yeah.
Where like in the stop time he can destroy some shit, but the effect of it still happens, right? Like I think the whole
yeah, okay.
The whole explanation is like, imagine you're walking towards a burning house.
Yeah.
And then you are on the other side of the house and on fire.
Yeah.
Like during that skip time, you had walked through the house,
Yeah.
but you didn't realize it,
Yeah.
right? And then you're on fire on the other side.
Mm.
Giorno's power is the opposite,
where
it keeps the cause, but resets the like the outcome.
Yeah.
So his whole thing is being described as being able to reset anything to a point of zero. And that zero is wherever you start the thing, right? Mm-hmm. So where Diavolo tried to start his stop time thing, Requiem reset that back to zero. And it is said to be as strong as being able to set infinity back to zero.
Oh no. I see. That's why it never ends.
So Diavolo dies from Bruno's punches, right? He dies in that instance.
Yeah.
But then the death doesn't set, so it resets back, and he dies from the drug addict.
Yeah.
Then he doesn't die, and he resets back, and he dies in a different way.
Yeah.
And Diavolo is caught in an infinite loop of death.
Yeah.
Never to his end is to never end. Like that was one of the lines in the show.
Yeah.
And that's his punishment.
Yeah.
His punishment.
It's cool to die.
It's not really like you don't like. It's cool if you give it.
No, I mean like it's for as badass as Diavolo was. It's a death that was befitting of him.
Yeah, right. It's everything is always the polar opposite. Like in Jojo, like every villain, how the way they die is usually ironic or the antithesis of what they've been trying to do the whole time.
Okay.
Right. With that, there's still a episode and a half left.
Yeah.
Where they go back. They go way back, even to before Leaky Eye Luca.
Yeah. Back in time.
Back in time. Leaky Eye Luca has been killed. The mafia's all like, "Hey, we gotta go investigate this shit." But in the interim, Prosciutto, and Bruno, Mista, and Prosciutto are going to go figure out this other thing where some villager comes up to him, says that his daughter was dating a sculptor, and she jumped off a building with a rock.
Yeah.
And this little ditty, this little side story, is to kind of cement home the fact that in the JoJo universe, everything is destiny. The JoJos are always meant to fight. The bad guys are always meant to fight the villain. Everything is decided by destiny. By having a stand, who is this rock called Rolling Stone, or was it Prophecy Rock, or the English translation?
Prophecy Rock.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the sculptor, it's an automatic stand, and the sculptor has no control over it.
Yeah.
And basically, whatever the rock shows, is what's going to happen. And they have a chance to change fate, but only by directly intervening with the rock.
Right.
Right. So what happened with the girl is that the rock showed that she was going to die of a rare disease, but it also showed that her father was going to die of a rare disease.
Yeah.
And so instead, she chose to jump off the building with the rock, kill herself, accept her destiny in order to change the destiny of somebody else.
Yes.
Where in this little side story, Bruno was shown with like bullet holes in him, just bleeding out, dying. And Mista, not wanting to accept that destiny, helped change Bruno's destiny because he changed the shape of the rock or broke it or whatever. And made it worse maybe for him and other people, but allowed them to go on this journey that a great struggle, as the sculptor puts it.
I see.
Right. And that kind of plays forward in more parts and retroactively as well, like certain certain people are always destined to fight the people of the Arrow, the people who have been influenced by Dio, stuff like that. But that's like that little last story bit that's not really anything to do with part 5 itself, but more as JoJo as a whole. And then the final scene of Giorno sitting in the Dawn chair.
Yeah.
With his black suit. The turtle's still there. Chilling.
What happened to Trish?
She's somewhere. I don't think she wanted to be mafioso. She was just the daughter of a mafioso.
She caught up in the world, man.
Maybe she's still in the turtle.
Can't leave.
I got out. I paid my dues. Blah, blah, blah.
Nah. Come back.
I can always pull you back in. So yeah, that's JoJo, man. JoJo's done.
That's JoJo.
For me personally, I want to get to you last because I know you're gonna have some opinions.
Sure. Some truths. Some would say.
Some truths. No. So I really loved seeing this animated. This is my favorite part of JoJo because it is the fucking wildest.
Yeah.
And it is like one of the last arcs to where he has his like kind of more iconic art style. Parts 6, 7, 8, his art style changes to a more, I want to say like more art. Like it's like I look at certain like these drawings and it's like, oh, this is like straight up fashion magazine. Like this is high art, where this is manga art. Right. And just being able to visualize Diavolo's power is something I thought they weren't going to be able to do very well.
Yep.
But they were. And I thought it was really cool how they did it.
Yeah.
And they were very faithful to the manga. I think it's no surprise that I really enjoyed this series.
Yeah.
I thought it was very good.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, Vincent.
You called out Siri.
Siri said, I'm sorry, apparently.
Yeah. She's apologizing for me in advance.
I heard you have some words.
I do.
About JoJo.
I do. So, like, it's nothing new. Like, if you guys have followed this anime club, everything I feel about the show, I think I've already said many times before. Like, it's entertaining. Can't deny that. Stuff happens, and like you are going to have some sort of reaction.
You're gonna have a what the fuck moment.
You're gonna have many.
Yeah.
And but it's definitely the show is definitely more about the lunacy and the powers. It's like, what's that saying? Something about meat and potatoes? Like, this is just all meat.
Okay.
Right?
That's fair.
Like, it's like I'm having dinner, I have my carbs, got my veggies.
Yeah.
And then we got meat.
Yeah, but what if I went to a steak buffet?
And a dessert. Yeah, that's exactly what this is. This is like, how about we just give you the meat? And like, at first you're like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Give me the meat.
And then you realize that you're at this buffet for 38 weeks. And that's all you've eaten. And suddenly you're like, oh man, I got the sweats. I'm not feeling great anymore. I don't know. Was it worth it?
They brought up the filet mignon at the end though.
Did they?
What was your filet mignon moment?
I don't know.
Like, what was your favorite power?
My favorite power?
Yeah. Because mine definitely was not Sex Pistols.
Yeah, they used him a lot.
Oh fuck! Like, shut up.
Like, they used him a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know what my favorite power was actually. Like, I don't know. I think.
What about digitally impregnating a woman?
Oh, that was this, huh? Like, that's wild. That's fucking wild. No, I actually think I like Polnaugh's Requiem.
Oh, the soul switching?
Just to, like, let's just fuck shit up.
Yeah, you thought it was confusing before.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, and then, like, let's go for it. Like, that was like peak. That was filet mignon. You're like, oh, okay. All right. That's that blue rare. What the fuck? Yeah. But yeah, no, like, it's entertaining. It was fun to watch. I need more structure to my entertainment.
That's fair.
Like, it more or less was MacGuffin after MacGuffin. Like, let's chase until that chase leads us to boss.
Yeah.
Right? And all the big twists and turns weren't through plot; they were just through the powers, right? And how they could usurp each other via their powers. And like it's cool when you see it happen the first couple of times, or like the first time you see Bruno shout arrivederci. Yeah,
arrivederci.
But by the end, like it's like because you know like that's what the show's trying to do.
Yeah,
it's just for me it was just a case of diminishing returns.
That's
like
fair.
I have a feeling that Diavolo's end, the way Jojo does it, would have been more impactful if it just didn't take so long to get there.
Like if it was like 24 episodes instead.
Yeah, like once we got like after episode 24, I was like it didn't matter how crazy they got. I never felt like I had that initial like what the fuck is this show anymore. Like it was very much well of course.
Well, of course it's gonna be.
Of course it's gonna do that.
He can swim through cement.
Oh sure, yes.
A fungus that if you get lower you die.
Yeah, fucking invisible shark in the wall. Of course, of course. Why not? You know. So that's more or less how I felt about it.
That's fair.
But yeah, I guess I understand. Like I see the appeal of JoJo. I just know it's not my appeal. That's
fair enough. Yeah. I think the thing too is like, the stuff you want, like the more potatoes, the more veggies.
Yeah.
Like I think that stuff doesn't even really come in until maybe part 7.
Yes.
Right. And that's where his art really changes and his style of making JoJo really changes because he changed to a monthly release schedule. These portions are still like Shonen Jump.
Yeah.
Like this is
like it definitely feels like of that time.
Yeah.
And like Dragon Ball. Like we are just like we're gonna stretch this out as long as we can and hammer in the same kind of points. And it's entertaining.
That's like the one thing's like when I have friends, they know I'm like a fan of JoJo, but I never really push it on them.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, Anthony, I started watching JoJo, and like part 1's like, what the fuck is this show? And I always have to remind them like, okay, like just so you know, this was written in the 80s.
Yeah.
And then once they hear that, they're like, oh, okay, all right, like it's a period of its time. Like okay, I get it.
It's like, oh, okay, I won't question it as much anymore.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's definitely it is from that era
when
all shows are like that, you know.
Yeah, I think this show or this manga came out around the same time as maybe Code Geass, like 2000s.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So, but yeah, that was Golden Wind Experience. Flashlights.
Flashing lights. No, I still think best ending of the year, Jodeci.
Oh no.
Jodeci, crushing it. Best ending of the year. Best ending of the year.
We'll see.
You know who my favorite anime artist is?
Who?
Jodeci.
Oh.
But yeah, man, that's it. I think we're gonna. Yeah, we mentioned it on the other podcast, but if you haven't listened to it yet, we are gonna start Anime Club up again, but doing Code Geass.
Yeah.
So we have watched the first 4 episodes already. If
you
want to hear our thoughts about that, check out episode 441 of our podcast.
Yep.
And we're gonna start the next Anime Club. When you see the next episode go up, it will be episodes 5 and 6 of Code Geass, and we'll continue it on a 2-episode spree.
Yeah, definitely. Much. So look forward to that. If you managed to stick with us through all of this,
all of JoJo, yeah, most definitely.
Please tell us something.
Yeah, let us know what you thought about JoJo.
Like, am I am in the minority. I know that's for sure.
Which I'm so surprised that this show is so popular.
Yeah, like when I think about it, like, because I know why Dragon Ball's popular.
Yeah.
Because in like Naruto, because those will just seem so obvious. JoJo has something else behind it that I don't understand why it clicks with so many people.
Like, is it the memes? Did the memes make it that popular?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm so surprised.
Yeah, because like it definitely feels more like a show that should have like a smaller niche fan base, but it's the complete opposite.
Because definitely, so like a bunch of years ago, Blaven had told me about JoJo.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yo, read this. It's fucking wild. You'll love it."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I read it. It's wild. I love it."
Yeah.
And I tried to tell other friends about it, and they're like, "This is some dumb shit."
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, "Yeah, that's the point." But they were like, I don't really like it." And now that the anime's been out for a while, those same people are coming back like, man, I've been a JoJo fan for years. I'm like, yo, fuck you. Like, what happened? Like,
I don't know.
I tried to get you on the ground floor. Like,
it's the power of anime.
I guess.
You know, no one wants to read. They want their moving pictures.
But the art on the manga is usually better. Damn.
But anime moves.
Anime does move, it's true.
Anime takes less investment.
Have you read any of the One Punch Man chapters?
No.
So.
Oh, I've seen them. They look wild.
Yeah. Sometimes he'll just like a whole chapter is just an animated sequence, right? And he'll have this like really elaborate punch or flying thing or fight.
Yeah.
It's so sick.
Yeah.
It's so sick.
Yeah.
It starts so good.
Okay then. That's it for us.
Yeah.
That's a wrap on JoJo. Peace out, motherfucker.
Yeah. Time for Lelouch.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Bye.